Was goody?
Welcome to our first episode of Ram Central. I am Josh Riesenberg.
And I'm Cooper Levin. And Josh.
To keep it short and sweet, our channel is pretty simple. We will be realistically rebuilding and doing franchises and online gameplay in Madden, NBA 2K, and MLB The Show. We are very open to any ideas. We love our sports. We talk about it all the time. And Cooper, yeah?
Yeah, and just drop a like, of course, all the time. And comment down below. Do you want to just do the Colts, Buccaneers, and the NFL? Or in 2K, we can do any team. Or we can also do WNBA if we really wanted to. MLB, and yeah, Josh, I think we should just dive right
into it. All right, let's go.
Dive right into it. Let's go.
All right, with the first video in Ram Central, we will be realistically rebuilding the Cincinnati Bengals. They had the first overall pick in the 2020 NFL Draft. They selected Joe Burrow, QB out of LSU. Well, I'm going to start at the beginning of his career. He committed to Ohio State. He was benched for 2 years. He then was in the QB battle with Dwayne Haskins, lost, entered the transfer portal, and transferred to LSU. Didn't have a great junior year, but in his senior year, he broke out. He broke a lot of records. He, in my opinion, was one of the best QBs in a single season ever in college football. He won the Heisman Trophy. He brought LSU to their first college football national championship. In the second round, they selected wide receiver T. Higgins out of Clemson. Very tall, good hands, quick guy. He was very high in my draft board. He was over like Justin Jefferson, Brandon Ayuk, and Jalen Reagor. But obviously, some of the teams that like the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers had different styles, so they didn't take T. Higgins. So when in the second round, the Cincinnati Bengals were up again, they said we can't pass up on him, so they selected T. Higgins. With the third and fourth round pick, I'll bring it to Cooper to talk about that.
Yeah, so in the third round, in the third and fourth round, the Cincinnati Bengals picked two linebackers, Akeem Davis-Gaither and Logan Wilson. Now, as like people are signing their contracts now, and as everything's going along, Akeem Davis-Gaither is now slated to play strong safety. They both had really amazing college careers. Logan Wilson did play for Wyoming, which he didn't play that many good competition. So it's gonna be interesting to see how his play translates in the NFL. But he is one of the most ranked underrated players in the draft. His skill coming to Cincinnati is gonna bring a lot to the table there. And Akeem Davis-Gaither, he from Appalachian State, as we know, was very, 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 very good last year. Surprised many, and that defense was a big factor in that. The defense and that running back who was drafted earlier. All in all, these two picks were very, very good. I think Gaither moving to strong safety, which is one of his strengths, and because he's extremely, extremely fast. I think this is going to be interesting to see how these two players work on the defensive side, which the Cincinnati Bengals defense last year was not very good. Bringing it to Josh now.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with Cooper. Logan Wilson is very underrated. He could be a great factor in that defense. If we look at the fifth round, the Bengals selected Khalid Kareem, defensive end out of Notre Dame. Looking at his tape, I found that he is quick, very fast, very good with his hands. He fell this far because he doesn't have great power moves, can't avoid all the offensive linemen. He had some good plays out in Notre Dame, but he could be a good depth guy for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah.
With that being said, let's just jump right into the rebuild. All right, let's just hop right into it. Check the team out right now. Franchise QB of the future, Joe Burrow out of LSU. Great versatile QB, can run, can pass. He's dual threat. Winning Heisman Trophy. He won the national championship, brought the LSU Tigers to their first college football playoffs.
In my mind, Joe Burrow is not the best QB in this draft. I think rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year. But I think overall, I think it's going to be Tua Tagovailoa. He is just more diverse, more built for the league. You guys have to get over the injury hump, but if he can, then I trust Tua more than Joe Burrow.
Right. It would be fun.
Yeah.
Looking at the running back core, what do we see, Cooper?
We see Joe Mixon. He had a little bit of a slump last year, but in his breakout season 2 years ago, he just dominated the league. He took the world by storm. Really passing Giovanni to Bernard as at the time as the lead running back. But he's just very diverse. PPR huge fantasy implications if he can just stay healthy,
Yeah.
or if Joe Burrow can learn how to like incorporate what he did with Clyde Edwards-Helaire in college with Joe Mixon. Then to receivers, we have
No, wait, hold on. I want to say something about Joe Mixon first. For those fantasy footballers out there, I had Joe Mixon 2 years ago in his breakout season, and I won the whole thing with him. So for the fantasy footballers out there, I would highly suggest taking him because I would see every week next year in the NFL season, Zach Taylor, the second-year head coach at Cincinnati Bengals, throwing a lot of screen passes to either Joe Mixon or T. Higgins. So that's a name to look
and
at.
speaking of T.
over
Higgins,
there.
33rd pick in the draft, dude, drafted a big body receiver. You have to think that's the new who's gonna wind up replacing AJ Green when AJ Green's 10 years up.
Right? Well, look at AJ Green. Personally, I don't think he's going to have a good year. 32 years old, kind of getting old. Was out all last year due to injury. But if you look at the other side, you have Tyler Boyd. An uprising superstar, 24 years old, out of Pittsburgh. Great fantasy football player. Caught a lot of balls for the Bengals last year. He is going to be 1,000 receiving yard person again for his second year straight. Great wide receiver for them. If we look at the offensive line, it's a little bit
up there,
bad. So we're gonna have to work on that a little. If we look at Billy Price out of Ohio State, the Ohio State University. Not the best right now, but I do see him.
And then you
Making
also
a comeback.
see Jonah Williams, a former top 10 pick last year's draft, who missed all last season due to an injury. But I expect him to come back, and maybe he's a little rusty first couple games, but I feel that he'll make a big impact on the offense and offensive line.
It's Joe Burrow's blind side, so I think he's going to do a fantastic job with protecting his new QB, Joe Burrow.
Tight end is a very big hole in this offense, and we expect, as a rebuild, to get a new tight end for us, hopefully, in either year 1 or year 2. Yeah, and moving to defense now with Josh.
All right, on the defensive side of the ball, we got veteran star for the Bengals, Geno Atkins. Always a good all-around, good defensive tackle. Gives you some sacks all across the years. Great. But if you look at the other nose tackle, we have DJ Reader, free agent signing.
Who just signed the highest, which just made him, he just signed a $4-year, $53 million deal, which made him the highest paid nose tackle in the league currently. Last year for the Texans, recorded 52 tackles and 2.5 sacks, which it doesn't jump out, but his previous seasons have been amazing as well. Alongside Jadeveon Clowney and alongside J.J. Watt, those years.
Right.
That defense has been scary. Yeah.
If you look at the edges, they're all right. I think they could have another threat in that line to make their defensive line all together a good unit. If we look at the corners, we're going to go a little faster here in the secondary. If we look at the corners, it's a little slumpy. We got Trey Waynes. He's getting on the older side at 28 years old. We got William Jackson, who's pretty good. But all around, it's an all-right group of people.
You have a bright young star at safety, Jesse Bates, out of Wake Forest. That's my college. I really like him, and I think he's going to have a breakout year this year. Defenses are going to be scared of him.
With the other signing on the defensive side of the ball, Von Bell. He came from New Orleans, signing with them. If you look at the linebacker core, they also have Logan Wilson and Gaither, as Cooper talked about previously. So we will actually start them over.
I expect a good rookie season from Logan Wilson. I expect that Gaither won't have as good as a year as Wilson, because I think Gaither, he has some maturing going up to do out the field and on the field. But Logan Wilson, I think, will have a large impact in this year.
Yeah. So without being said, we will see you in the mid-season mark. Okay, we are at the mid-season mark. As we see in week 8, we beat the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah,
let's check
what is our
our
record right now, Josh?
We are 6-2.
Whoa. I can't,
Wow.
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 What are your stats right? What is Joe Burrow looking at like right now?
We will check the stats right now. If we look at the stats of Joe Burrow, he's having an excellent year. Almost 2,000 passing yards, 16 touchdowns, and 2 picks. That is a fantastic year. If we look at Joe Mixon, around 600 yards, pretty solid. He has 0 touchdowns. That's not all that good, but Rodney Anderson has 2.
It seems like the offense is more of a passing offense, and it has adapted to Joe Burrow's elite ability.
If we actually look at the wide receiver core, we see A.J. Green having the high stats this year, 4 touchdowns, 450 yards to his name. Our tight end, C.J. Uzama, he has around 400 yards with 3 touchdowns. John Ross, we forgot to say, pretty big bust in the NFL, if I had to say
really
so myself.
Great 40-yard time.
We will not be bringing him back, but he's having a pretty good year. Tyler Boyd is not having the year as I expected, only 346 yards receiving and only 2 touchdowns to his name. If we look at T. Higgins, however, he's only having 37 yards receiving. That is because I forgot to put him higher in the starting lineup. That is my fault. That won't happen again. Yeah. On the defensive side of the ball, we have 6.5 sacks by Geno Atkins, as we all expected.
Geno Atkins is a stud.
The surprise here, Akeem Davis-Gaither, the rookie out of Appalachian State, has 3 sacks, 3rd highest on the defense right now. DJ Reader, only 1 sack to his name, not that good.
But he's a great pass rush and disrupts the pocket
he's a good nose tackle. If we look at interceptions, Jesse Bates with 2, Sean Williams with 1, Von Bell with 1. Kicking, 8 for 9. Who cares about Randy Bullock? He's not going to be on the team.
I'm excited to see if we make the playoffs. For number 2 in the AFC North at this current moment.
All right, playoff time. We did not make the playoffs. We went 8-8, falling back, going only 2-6.
2-6 after 2-6 after the break. Dang.
If we check the final stats, we will see how good Joe Burrow and the rest of the crew did. Joe Burrow not having the ideal second half of the year. Total of 4,000 yards passing, followed by 30 touchdowns and 11 picks. His name through 9 at the second half of the year. Not very good. But if we look, Joe Mixon had a 1,000-yard rushing year. 4 touchdowns to his name. Had a lot better second half of the year. If we look over at the receiving, we will see that A.J. Green almost hit that 1,000 mark. John Ross almost hit that 1,000 mark. Tyler Boyd picked it up. And yeah, if we check on the defensive side of the ball, if we look at the defensive side of the ball, we see that Geno Atkins had 10.5 sacks, and Akeem Davis-Gaither only had 3, so he didn't have an ideal second half of the year. But if you look at interceptions, Jesse Bates only had 3. So if you look at the defensive side of the ball in the second half of the year, it wasn't that good.
We have to have through the draft. We should have a lot of improvement through the the defense side of the ball.
If we check the yearly awards, we will see Matt Ryan winning MVP. Wow. If we look at the yearly awards, we see Matt Ryan winning MVP. Haven't heard that name in the MVP race in a while.
And Justin Herbert.
Wow. Justin Herbert. If you look at the record, the Chargers went a whopping 15-1.
Wow.
Also, Tua Tagovailoa 4th in the MVP race.
Yeah, my guy got 4th in the MVP voting this year.
Yeah.
Impressive to
if
see
we look at Offensive Rookie of the Year, Joe Burrow only 3rd.
Behind Herbert.
Not the ideal thing. Yep. So, we'll see you in the offseason.
Yeah.
Okay, if we look over here at our free agency signings, we signed Blake Jarwin, tight end, coming out of... He was on the... Cowboys and hit free agency, so we signed him. more about Blake Jarwin Cooper. You got anything to say about him?
Yeah, he actually, like Jarwin, he for 1 year was teammates with Jason Witten, and they both look up to each other. Jarwin looks up to Jason Witten. Jason Witten is one of the best tight ends we've ever seen in the game, at least in the 20th century, in the 21st century. So it's gonna be interesting to see what when he has his own team, when he's not with Dak, who's not really good with tight ends, and Garrett when he was a coach, not really good at implementing the tight end when Jarwin was there. Let's see what Jarwin can do on our team with Zach Taylor and Joe Burrow, because Joe Burrow in college used Thaddeus Moss a lot.
Yeah. We look Darren Lee,
Vinny Curry.
moving. Yeah, Vinny Curry, but more about Darren Lee making that linebacker core a little bit better. We signed Vernon Hargraves just due to the fact that he's young, talented. He's a lot to prove. Former first-round pick out of Florida. And then we signed Andres Pete, 26-year-old left guard, 80 overall, solid linebacker, not linebacker, offensive line boost. So, yeah, those are our free agency signings. So we will hop into the draft. We will see you in the draft. Draft day, boys. We got the 13th overall pick. We will simulate till our user pick to see who we are selecting. Okay, we're on the clock, boys. Let's see who is up. We take here, no QB has been off the board. Trevor Lawrence is still there. Justin Fields.
Of course, we do not need a QB because we just...
considering we have Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Cooper, I think we should take Sean Wade out of Ohio State, cornerback. What do you think?
Cornerback, our cornerback class is a little weak since we have people on the older side as Trey Wayne. So I think that Sean Wade would be the best decision right now.
All right, you heard it here, folks. We are selecting Sean Wade, cornerback out of Ohio State. Great slot cornerback, will do excellent on our Bengals roster, staying at home in Ohio. We are selecting Sean Wade as the newest Cincinnati Bengal. 77 overall, hidden development, great pick. Selected 13 overall, and he's ranked 12 in the class. We will come back in our second round pick. Okay, we are on the clock again, second round pick. Let's see who's on the board. Justin Fields is still on the board. That is surprising. I think we should go with someone on the.
I think center. Center's a big
center.
Need.
I think we should take Creed Humphrey out of Oklahoma. Surprising that he stayed back in Oklahoma, considering he would have been the number one center in the 2020 NFL draft.
Yeah.
So I think we should go
Ruiz,
Creed Humphrey.
Yep.
Creed Humphrey, Cincinnati Bengals, 73 overall, hidden development, great player.
Great.
We'll see you in the third round. Okay, we are back on the board.
We are back on the board now.
If we look at the board right now, we have some average players. Should we go wide receiver here?
I was saying actually we go running back to fill the second option behind Mixon. Because Rodney Anderson...
You're saying running back?
Running back. I'm saying running back. Halfback right now.
Let's see who the running backs are on the board. Kennedy Brooks out of Oklahoma. Not the best running backs. I'm thinking we take Devontae Smith out of Alabama.
Receiver?
What do you think? Yeah.
I'm saying that, yeah, that's a good idea.
All right. Selecting Devontae Smith, 73 overall, normal development. Okay, we will do the rest of the draft. We will see you after the draft. All right, Season 2 is upon us. We will be simming to the midseason. If we look at our overall, we're an 81, overall 83 defense. We got a lot better on our team.
I expect us
we
to
could be a playoff team.
Be a playoff team, yep. A wild card or even more.
We'll meet you in the midseason mark.
All right.
Okay, we are at the midseason mark, and right here we see a breakout player with Tyler Boyd. That'll be a very good thing. If we look here, we are 6-1.
Wow, 6-1.
Same as last year. We went 6-2. We fell. Hopefully we don't fall. If we check stats, Joe Burrow has another 2,000 yard
season.
Midseason, 17 touchdowns and 3 picks to his name. Look at the rushing. We have Joe Mixon, who has a whopping 728 rushing yards, followed by 6 touchdowns. Great year so far.
A better season than last season for 100%.
If we look at receiving, we have AJ Green almost at 400. T. Higgins having a lot better year than last year with 350 yards and 4 touchdowns. And we look at Tyler Boyd, he has 6 touchdowns to his name. If we look at defense,
How's Blake Jarwin doing?
Blake Jarwin. Let's see the famous Blake Jarwin. He has 6 catches and 92 yards.
Wow, 690 yards? That's good. That's good.
Okay. If we look at sacks, Carl Lawson is having a great year. Geno Atkins is regressed a lot. He only has 2.5. If we look at interceptions, we have Von Bell with 2 interceptions, having a comeback year, as we say. All right, guys, that's the first episode. Please smash that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button so you never miss a post. Comment down below if you want to see our part 2 of this rebuild. Probably our next video coming in a couple of days will be part 2, trying to win the Super Bowl for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yes.
With that being said, we out.
Comment down below. Peace out.